All right, this is my new shop building. We've recently moved back Kings Mountain. What you see here in the back is the kind of the junky area. I got my air compressor over in the corner. If you'll notice, there's PEX lines, there's a spa. All the storage in here, I'll just kind of pan it slowly. All the storage is here. This stuff, a lot of my other stuff here, just typical junk you collect over the years. I got some materials, if you can kind of get down here and see, they're over in a couple of baskets here. This is a 12 by 30 outside building. And, it's one of these prefab jobs. That's my machinist stuff. Some of the lathe tooling, I got a rag over it. But, with the unheated building, I've got a couple electric heaters going right now. There's my little bench grinder, and there's tapping machine that I'm going to mount in the bench here when I kind of do some more arranging after Christmas. And this is another bench top Craftsman drill press I've had for a long, long time. This is my little PM25 mill. And if you wonder what's covered up, I got a big old 6-inch. I'll take the cover off here. Kurt Weiss mounted on this thing. When I bought the mill, the 4-inch, the import vices, they kick up and raise around. So I went ahead and was pricing them, and the small cart was just as expensive as the big one. So we put the big one on in case sometime or another down the road we can get a bigger mill. So we'll cover this up after that. And over here in this corner, there's the DRO for the mill. I just sort of got it mounted to the wall. There's my little drill sharpener, little SRD. And underneath that cabinet there is in the corner, it's the tooling for it, and the little table I made. I think it's a little old block of steel laying there. I didn't realize I'd used to make a tool block here recently with. And then this is my little lathe. It's actually a Lathe Master. You've probably seen some of these online. Mine looks a little different because when we moved here, first moved the lathe here. And when I first moved it here, and we started to power it up, it wouldn't power up. I went through a lot of trouble checking the motor, working on the groups, just the whole 9 yards. And basically, what we determined, the switch was bad. So I basically rewired it to where it's got a Dayton drum switch on it. You can hear it running. And bypassed it, just sort of old schooled it. The lathe works really, really well, and I never have much trouble. And this is my little workbench, and right there, if you'll see, it's the cover for my tablet laying there, and there's a little plastic container. Then eventually, I'm thinking I've got some other toolboxes outside. Actually, a little Craftsman machinist box. Now, the table I actually made a good many years ago. It's probably 20 years old now. You see a little electric heater there, a little plastic container, roll around things like you get it. Family Dollar, Dollar General, whatever, and I've just got some things in. But the drawers are little file card cabinets. I picked them up at an auction at the city of Kings Mountain, and I just tack welded the whole mess together and mounted it under that table. It's all like 1 by 1 inch square tubing. That's my second vise. I just sort of bolted that arbor press on there. Actually, it doesn't have a hole on it. I haven't really never used it that much. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is unbolt it one day here soon and just drill me a 3-inch hole for stuff to fall through and just leave it there. If I don't put it on another table, I'm leaning towards building another table and putting some stuff on. But I may end up doing that. I haven't really decided yet. And then this is kind of my collection of mechanics tools or tools. This is actually a top and bottom of a Craftsman box. I purchased it on Craigslist a couple years ago, a couple $100. And then there's a Husky box. It's on the bottom. It's all bolted together. And I've probably had tools since My mother and daddy used to buy them for me. I'm 59 now, so since I was 18, 19 years old, there's a collection of hand tools, and I just keep everything. That box is fairly much full. Hand tools, plumbing, anything you want to use at home, I pretty well over the years have collected it. And like I say, that's pretty much what I have in this building. I was working on the other day, and I'll take it off, is I was making this particular, machining this block. This particular is as you'll notice, it's a larger cutoff tool. It's a lot larger than for my lathe. And this is aluminum block, and then there's a steel dovetail. The reason for the cutout is so it'll fit down on the down on the tool block. So it's, I just finished it up. I'd started on it before I moved here, and it kind of got put in the back burner. So, basically, it's a block, I just have a lot of trouble with cutoff tools, so I wanted to make me another one. If you'll notice, my lathe is, I do things different from some guys. My lathe, I don't move my compound. It's set at basically 29.5, 30 degrees, even though I don't do much threading. I don't move the block. I just square everything up and run off of it. I use a lot of insert tooling, and I've got all sorts and shapes here. Some of them's, this is, it's basically like this one here. You see this standard block, non-modified. It's basically, I use this, but I've got some too. I work in a factory that makes truck transmissions, so I have access to a lot of times things being thrown out or whatever. So actually, I bought the tool holder there on eBay, and somebody done ground on it. That's a I can't remember the exact. It's a Kennametal holder. I can't remember the exact nomenclature, but it uses this 432, and I've got it mounted on my tool holder. You noticed how it's milled down. It's mounted on a size block. I've got several tools like that I've cut up and put them on. A lot of them. I've got threading tools there now. I'm fixing to do. If you'll notice right there beside the box, there's several more A-size blocks. You can't make the things. You can buy them. Basically under $20, and it took me a good part of the day. I probably got 2 days work, or a good 2 to 3 days work in this block that you see here. So I'm not, I'm one like some of the others. And in case you're wondering, I'm too lazy. I haven't changed my clock from daylight savings time. And you'll notice that I live out in the country, and I do have an old tractor outside that needs to be worked on, belonged to my granddaddy. And, I just basically, a little bit of everything. And there's this little truck up there, if you can see it. Our company gives it to us. I've been recovering from shoulder surgery, and just now, actually recently, was able to come back and start doing a few things. Hopefully, first year, I think I'm going to be released to go back to work. Most of what you do in the shop here is real light, so you don't hardly notice it too much. And like I say, it's not like some of the guys you see, obviously it's not no professional machine shop. It's just something, I'm a CNC machinist by trade. Even though I started working in the shop, and I've been working machines since I was 18, 74 actually. I graduated. I worked part-time and graduated high school here in Kings Mountain. Went to work for a man. That's by the way, I don't think that's a Harbor Freight. I think that one was actually sold by Northern. I actually bought it from a guy local, used in Stanley. And I actually had done very few mods. My saw's like some of the guys really get into it. My saw just has got this little simple adjustment for cutting short stuff, and it's got a little knurl to change the blades, obviously. And what I did is, I don't like hunting metric screws up, so when I did that, I drilled and tapped the whole mess out, 1/4-20, and made the studs. It's not like some of the people you see on on YouTube. It's not a fancy, great, big, monstrous thing. It's just something that keeps me out of trouble. This is on actually a couple days before Christmas. My fiance, she's sort of trying to take a bit of a cold, and she's in the bed, and I told her I was coming down to clean up. And so obviously it's just one of them things. You know, it's just something I'll probably do this occasionally. I'm not going to go out and invest in a camera to do bukus of videos. This turns out pretty decent. We'll see how it goes. And I'm not like some of the guys like A-Bomb and Randy Richards and these dudes, you know. I'm just somebody who enjoys piddling around. So my place is a little small, but it'll work. So thank you, and hope you enjoy.